Lauren, welcome to Reset.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Ash.
You are so welcome. Lauren and I met how long ago? Like a year?
Yeah, I mean, we went to that Christmas event like last year, didn't we? Just before Christmas. It must have been like almost a year and a half, maybe a year and a few months. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then we saved each other's numbers and then we went to a yoga day in Currumbin.
I remember crying that day, and that's when we saw the blue butterfly.
And we Googled, it looked like the emoji butterfly.
Yeah.
And we Googled what it means, and it means like wealth and prosperity. And we're like, oh my God, we're living our best lives, total alignment.
Yeah. And now look at the last like 12 months of both of us.
Wild.
I love like just connecting with girlfriends like that. Like it's just happened, you know? And I mean, look, it's brought us here. Now you have a podcast and I'm a guest on it.
Yeah, you are. Lauren, if anyone's been to a wedding in Australia, like there's a high percentage that they have met you because of how many weddings you do.
Yeah.
But if they haven't met you before, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I am Lauren Bridge Celebrant, Marriage Celebrant MC on the Gold Coast, but I'm also the founder of Wedding Collective Gold Coast, where we hosted the Gold Coast's largest wedding open day twice a year as well.
Epic. And a single mum with 2 kids.
Single mum with 2 kids, yeah, 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, so like it's non-stop at the moment.
For anyone listening and thinking, what is a marriage celebrant? How do you become one? What is the process?
Yeah, it's not as easy as people think, because I think there's this whole thing like when you see on movies and in America, like people just go and get their license and then they marry their friends. Here, it's a 12-month course, so you need to get your cert in that. And then once you've got that, you apply to the Attorney General's office and it's a 3-month process. So like a solid 15-month process to get your license just to be able to marry.
It's a serious thing. And I feel like I lived out that movie kind of montage recently where a friend asked me to be a fake celebrant. And I felt like I was calling a friend saying, can you do my homework for me? Because obviously I couldn't be a legit celebrant. And so I was messaging Lauren. I said, hey, I have to do this. Can I be your little protege? And Lauren kindly sent me a script. And I feel like afterwards I somehow just embodied you, and people were like, oh, what's your celebrant business called? Can I follow you? I was like, oh, no, I'm just faking to be Lauren.
Yeah, perfect. But was it fun?
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun. I Googled before this episode the average earnings of a celebrant in Australia.
Yeah.
And it was $10,000, which sounds like, you know what, that's a nice side hustle. Like I did one fake wedding and it was fun. But I've seen your wardrobe and your handbag collection. You are not earning $10,000 a year. Can we talk numbers?
Yeah, okay. I think like money is so important. People don't talk about it enough. It's like it's why we do what we do and we put ourselves out there, right? So like you need to know what your goals are, like what's your driving force. And for me, one of it is money. I love money. I don't know what to say to people like in a positive way, but like I work really hard and I've grown something to kind of get to where I am, and I've pushed a lot of boundaries. So I definitely make more than $10,000 a year. On occasions, I would hit that in a week for peak season. Last financial year as a celebrant, I did 190. So I do quite well on my celebrant business, but I do a lot of weddings. Like I do a lot of weddings and I book myself out. Like even last month, I think it was like 31 days in October, and I think I did something like 25 weddings. So if you also look at what I sacrifice, which is a lot of my sanity and my social life and things like that at times and weekends, you know, it's a bit of a balance, but there's obviously like business costs, marketing and things like that in that as well. But yeah.
That's incredible. And that is well beyond the $10,000 mark. You are like...
Hence the wardrobe. Like,
if anyone wants some wardrobe inspiration, just follow Lauren on Instagram. Like literally every day there is a dress. Do you know how many dresses you own?
Like just dresses that are wedding dresses that I wear to weddings, which is a whole thing. I did count a few months ago and there was 80. So I could probably assume there's maybe like 100 in there at the moment. Hashtag wedding OOTD.
You need a rack sale where you just sell those off.
No, I can't.
$100,000 in a year.
I can't let go of them.
That is a hectic schedule. What does life look like behind the scenes to bring that to life? Because it's not just show up at a wedding. Like, you invest a lot of energy, time in building the business, getting to know the couples.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Yeah, so the back end work of it, I'm so invested in what my couples want. So, I mean, naturally, I've got a style of ceremony and emceeing that I like to deliver, but I'm also quite custom. So if my couple wants a different style, I will definitely lean into that. And it's for them. It's their perfect day. I mean, there's writing involved, so a lot of creative writing. So, sitting down, honing in. I have to put my phone on Do Not Disturb so I don't get disturbed. And I really envision the delivery. I think that's where it is, like popping your hip out as you talk and things like that when you're doing a ceremony. So there's the creative writing side of it, but then there's the meeting side where I get to meet up with my couples, see what they want, if they want any interactive elements, things like that, which I think you got a little taste test of, didn't you?
Yes. I won't give away your secrets, but she told me, like, do not share this script with anyone. Like, it was custom for me and, like, had some very, specific bits in it.
I remember being like, this lands really well. You have to do this during the ceremony. So.
And I did.
Yeah.
I did. And it was a mic drop moment. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
People love energy.
Yeah. But you have to book Lauren to know what that is. Weirdest wedding you've ever done?
Weirdest wedding. I mean, like, nothing's weird. It's just everybody has a different style. I had one that was very sexual. I think that was one thing. I don't really put sexual talk out there during ceremonies, maybe a little innuendo in a tasteful way, but this one was very sexual, which is fine. It's what the couple wanted, and I'm happy to do it as well. Like, let's lean into it. But then later on during the reception, the groom did a full striptease. I'm talking like stripper pole, oil. We had to put a sheet on the ground. I even stayed back like an extra hour, hour and a half because I'm like, I'm not missing this. I'm invested. But it was great. And we all had money. Like, do what you want to do. It was awesome.
The groom had his magic mic moment.
He really did. He really did. It's definitely different. I don't know if I'll ever see it again, but I'm so happy I saw it, and I'm so happy that they did it the way that they wanted to do it, because that's what it's all about.
So good. I think I also saw one, was it on Halloween, where
So we had a wedding on Halloween, and the bride said to guests if they want to dress up, they can dress up. They also had a little table of like Halloween things. And then I just noticed that so many guests look so cool. So when I emceed that event, I'm like, right, we're going to do a best dressed competition. And I got everyone lined up there, and we all just like shouted out for whoever we thought. And it was just like natural, great energy. It was just awesome.
Anything goes.
Anything goes, honestly. Like, we can do shoeies. Like, I think I did this the other day. I heard that one of the groomsmen sculled a pint in record time. So I'm like, I want to see what he's made of. And so I got him a beer, and like, we sculled it down.
Okay, controversial one. Sorry to some of the brides, but do you have a favorite wedding that you've done?
My favorite weddings are always around like my favorite couples, like the ones that I genuinely connect with. So, and I connect with a lot of my couples, and I fangirl, and I follow all of my couples on Instagram, and I love like stalking their life. But I mean, there was Rachel and Tim, beautiful couples. So they got married at the Bower Estate over a year ago now, and I connected with that bride, became girlfriends with her, and she's now pregnant, going to have a baby, and like, Then there's like Hannah and Josh, same venue, the Bower Estate, beautiful couple. I've met up with Hannah. We've gone to Soak Bath House. Like, it's those kind of couples, those kinds of weddings that connect with me a bit more.
That's beautiful. And then obviously the stats are like a 50-50 almost of are couples going to stay together or not. Can you tell in the lead up to a wedding?
I can definitely see, I feel like I've got this intuition where I can see love. I can see genuine love behind my couples. And then I can also see times where couples have gone through the motions as well. So you meet somebody, you buy the house, you get the dog, you get married. So there's kind of the two sides of it. But I mean, who knows realistically, right? But there's definitely times where I'm sitting, like standing back in the ceremony, and I'm watching my couple say their vows, and my heart is just like melting into a complete puddle on the floor. So like, I like definitely see genuine love there. Yeah.
Have you ever had a bride call or a groom call just the day before the wedding or something and have to cancel?
Yeah. Like in the last month, actually, like four days out from her wedding. Oh, my heart just breaks. My heart just absolutely breaks. But from like when I get that call, like I just turn into complete girlfriend mode. Like I'm no longer professional celebrant. Not that I'm that professional anyway, because I'm just me. But yeah, you just turn into like a human being, a girlfriend, and you're just there for them.
That's rough. Hopefully a beautiful blessing, redirection in disguise of...
You will always create another beautiful life.
If someone's listening and they're wanting to plan their dream wedding, I feel like weddings can go from the most exciting thing in people's lives to the most stressful real quick. Do you have any words of wisdom?
To stay cool, calm and collected? No. No, okay. So I think like just fall in love with every decision that you make. Like love your wedding planning journey. This is a significant time in a life. It's not just like organizing a party. Like this is a life moment. So you want to fall in love with every decision, fall in love with your vendors, like the vision of the day. There are going to be ups and downs, but just like, I don't know when you need to have a girls' night and some like margaritas at home with your Pinterest board, I guess. But nothing's going to be smooth sailing with a wedding. Like something's going to happen. It's just how it is and it's how we deal with it.
Without having to add an extra $100,000 to someone's wedding budget, are there a few things that you recommend everyone should have at their wedding to make it an epic day for them and their guests?
Oh, an MC. For sure. And I'm not just saying that because I am one. Marriage Celebrant. I think I can just see the whole structure of a day when I'm there because behind the scenes, I'm somewhat coordinating it and making sure everything runs on time, the guests know what's happening, but then I also like to bring a bit of a vibe. So I think it actually sets a bit of a tone and people love structure. So I think that's quite an important thing. So I think just invest in an MC. Plus, realistically, none of your guests actually want to do it. So just leave it to the professionals.
Is it true you were nearly on a TV show?
Yeah, we're still like going there. Love Triangle, the dating show. However, it was filming in peak wedding season for me that month that I had all those weddings. So I had to turn it down just because of my commitment to all these weddings. So I don't know, catch me in off season, we'll revisit it.
I feel like watching your stories online, like you could just have your own reality TV show. Anyway.
I could just talk to myself for hours. Yeah, this is why I love a good podcast.
From the outside, life looks pretty freaking great for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in a beautiful dress every day, hair, makeup, gorgeous venues, like these elaborate experiences, launching multiple businesses. But that's shifted recently. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I know I've mainly talked about my Celebrant and MC business here, but I also have Wedding Collective Gold Coast. So Wedding Collective came to be about 2 years ago, and then we fully launched it a year ago, and we hosted the last 2 open days of this year, so in February and August, and they were massive for the Gold Coast. So that's when we've got X amount of venues open. I usually cap it at 10, and then I think I had about 120 vendors over the whole of the Gold Coast in the one day, and couples would bounce around and see whatever they want to see, take it all in, experience it, and they're all set up like beautiful weddings. So in the forefront, amazing business. It excelled, it succeeded. There was a need for it on the Gold Coast from both sides, from couples to vendors, and it's so exciting. But she was a massive job. She was a massive business to manage and to also scale and to get it to places that it needs to get, because honestly, it's such a good business model that it's only the heights. I was really prepping for the next open day, which was coming in February next year, and I sat back for a second and I just thought I was dreading the next 3 months of work when I've just had such a massive wedding season as a celebrant, thinking that, okay, I'm not going to get a break over November, December, January. And I just had to sit in that thought and go, this isn't feeding me personally anymore. It's not feeding my soul. And so I made the very hard decision to end Wedding Collective Gold Coast. And it's not always easy to end something that I've worked so hard for, I've built, and it was successful. But I just had to do what was right for me personally as just a woman and to like live my best life. So I ended that. However, from that, everyone saw what an amazing business it was. And we had multiple offers to purchase the business. So I considered every single offer. And I ultimately chose a new buyer based off their passion, their drive. And I saw a lot of myself in the new owner of this business. And I knew that she could scale it and to take it to places that I could only envision, and if not more as well. So Wedding Collective has officially been handed over to Mandy from Ivy and Blue, and her girls are going to do it justice, and I cannot wait to watch them grow this business. So the open day on the 2nd of February is still taking place, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever before. I also did a different structure that I thought that I wouldn't do with Wedding Collective, as I was quite finished with it. I thought I would just sell her off, but I have kept one finger in the pie and become a shareholder. So I'm still somewhat invested in that business, but I am totally stepping back and just letting Mandy manage that one and make all of the decisions for it. So it's somewhat exciting to kind of still be there.
That is huge, because it's hard enough to walk away from something that's not going well and not making money, let alone walking away from something that has the potential to quadruple your income. What was it like to go through that process but then share it with the world?
I was so emotionally depleted, honestly. I was so depleted. Like I had nothing left in me to give. I think that was it. I still got over 90 emails in my email box from all the love and support from people. I had people calling me when I made the announcement, because I set it all up. I closed off everything, stopped the whole function of the business all in one day, wrote my email, did my Instagram post, sent it all out, bang, done. So it's kind of crazy to think how it's taken so long to build a business, but I closed it down within one day. But when I sat with the love and support that everyone showed me, not just on that one day, but over the year, I knew that it had to keep going. So that's where I really thought, okay, who's going to like do it justice? But I was just so emotionally depleted from it. So I had to completely switch off a little bit. I still saw everything. I just wasn't able to respond. And it's okay. Like it's okay to just put in your boundaries and know when enough is enough, essentially. So I'm just really looking forward to like sleeping for a solid 7 days. Uber Eats is going to become like my best friend. So looking forward to it.
I feel like so many people listening can probably relate to that. You shut it all down within one day. How many days or weeks were you kind of wrestling with this decision?
Honestly, I made the decision 10 p.m. the night before. It had sat in me for a little bit when I did the first open day, and I'm like, this is massive. The workload is huge. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm crazy. I'm going to go for a second open day. And then I'm sitting there like, this is huge. And then after each open day, I would hit complete burnout, and I wouldn't even open my emails for a month. Keep in mind, I've also got a second business, so I had to show up every week for the couples that I was marrying, and I had to I genuinely want to give them the best day, so that's where my energy went. So, I mean, the thought had always kind of been in my mind that it's a lot of work, but I also knew that if I'm going to push it, I'm either going to push it right until February and not have those next 3 months, or if I'm going to close it down, I do it tomorrow. So, yeah, 10 p.m. the night before.
I love the way you work. And I shouldn't say that I'm surprised.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just got to that absolute breaking point and trusted your gut, and you're like, I'm done.
Yeah. But then when you kind of think about it, these other opportunities kind of opened up. Mandy's taken it over, and now I can see that she's going to do it justice because she's got a team as well. She's got an amazing team of girls that can do this. And then like my personal life can open up a little bit more as well. I'm going to have more time just to like be with my babies or build connections, hang out with Ash. So things like that. And I've already got ideas to have my next business. In fact, they were already there anyway. So I just want to take this time to reconnect with myself. And then next year I'm going to start building something else.
Yeah. So this podcast is probably going to go live in February 2025, which means we're already living in the future. What excites you about 2025? Like, where is your business or new business going? What direction?
Do you know what's funny is I'm going to scale that business and start pulling back on my Celebrant one. So essentially I'm going to take it a different direction. And this is so I can have a bit more of my life back and not work so many weekends and things like that, because ultimately that's when weddings are. And it's not that I don't mind that. It's just I book out so quick. I book out so quickly. So for me to have a Saturday off is a rare commodity. So I do miss out on certain aspects, like my girlfriend's baby shower. Not my girlfriend's wedding, because more often than not I'm marrying them. But, you know, my girlfriend had her baby shower last weekend and I wasn't able to go. And it's things like this that I miss out on. So I would love to get a little bit more of that back.
What parts of work do you love the most and are you not going to let go of?
It's funny because I love all of it though. Oh, I love delivering. I love being like there on the day, delivering it, bringing the energy, being confident. Like, I think that's where I really strive the most, is actually in the performance. For a bit there, I didn't love writing ceremonies. That was a bit for me. But I always knew that like when I was done, I'm like, that's a solid ceremony. Like, I can't wait to deliver it. But a lot of my processes are streamlined anyway. So to be honest, the back end work isn't too large because I've set my business up that way to essentially function for itself.
How far in advance are you booked right now for Celebrants?
Like probably peak season 2026. So that would be the early season, which would be about April, May. Those peak dates book out pretty quickly. And it won't be long before October 2026 books out quickly. Those tend to book out almost 2 years in advance for me.
Wow. If someone's listening and they're thinking, okay, working in weddings and getting up there and celebrating love and they love the creative writing and all this sort of stuff, I want to be a celebrant. If someone's listening, what's your advice to them?
Come see me because I might set you up fully. Business number 3.
I was hoping this would come out.
I haven't even told you this off camera.
I've been watching like Lauren's journey and like as I mentioned before, I got to get Lauren to do my homework when I did my one-off and once in a lifetime celebrant role. And I was like, Lauren, you need to be training the next generation of celebrants because you just go above and beyond and you have so much to give and so much energy and wisdom. This needs to...
It needs to happen. Yeah, I need some proteges. So come at me because essentially I will have the business there. I will lay it out. I've already got all the inquiries for these peak season dates, Saturdays. I'll get anywhere from like 10 to 15 inquiries just for a Saturday. So essentially if somebody just wants to come in, if they just deliver really well, which I will train them up, I will bring them to weddings, I will help them creative right, I will lay out their whole business for them. And they don't need to tap into any business experience whatsoever. So that's definitely there. So if anybody's influential and just wants to get creative, like I'm here.
Magic. And what would be the kind of commitments? Like would being a celebrant suit someone that also has another job or side hustle or something? Or is it an all-in kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously a full-time celebrant, so I'm an all-in person, but it is also a job that can suit somebody that wants to have a side hustle, some extra pocket money, which might be where the whole $10,000 figure a year comes from. However, knowing that I would train my team up to like top tier, it would be more than just a little bit of pocket money. So yeah, you can have a normal job. You could probably have like a Monday to Thursday job and just do a wedding on a Friday and a Saturday, and you'd probably still make more money than you would in your Monday to Thursday job.
I love that. Let's keep talking money because it's not spoken about enough. If someone comes and trains with you and they get to the Lauren Bridge level, like what can they expect to earn if they go all in for 12 months?
Yeah, well, they would get work pretty much straight away. You wouldn't need to, wait for these inquiries that are booked out 12 to 2 years in advance. So that's one thing. I mean, obviously I'd be taking a cut from that because I set you up. Yep. But money-wise, I don't know, I'd probably charge them out at like maybe $1,300, take a little cut of that, which I charge more than that just for ceremony. Then if I lean into them for MCing, I mean, I charge anywhere from $1,500 to $1,700 just for a ceremony and then an additional $1,000 to MC. So I could do, $2,700 days. And then sometimes I pump out these weddings as well. So I can do, I think the most I did, which was the last month, was 6 weddings in 1 week. So in peak season, you can really lean into it. So yeah, I mean, you'd definitely be walking away with more than $1,000 a day. And if you MC, probably $2,000 a day.
Epic. And I think it's one thing to go and do the training of how to be a celebrant, but it's the business side that is
scaling it, growing it, putting your brand out there, because it's not easy. I mean, you can go and get your license, but you've got no idea like where to find these couples, how to hit the market, because there's also a lot of different style weddings. So you've kind of got your higher market weddings and you've got your more budget weddings as well. So it just depends what market you want to hit and what you want to do. Because like for me, the big and bougie is where I'm at. Like that's what feeds my soul. So that's what I like to hone in on. And that's definitely what I attract as well. And that's what I've built my brand around. So
yeah, it's
also about building that brand and that network and your reputation and knowing where to do it, where to find these couples and make some money.
Make some money. And you've spent literally years creating this incredible network of vendors and knowing how to get the couples. And so I'm just imagining someone who's like, I'm all in, I want to be a celebrant, and just how much their career would be fast-tracked rather than trying to start from scratch and like scramble and...
Yeah, I've done the trial and error. Yeah. I've done the trial and error. I've seen what works. I've seen what doesn't work. I've seen what to lean into. I know how to network it. So that alone is invaluable. And I think people don't see the back end of that. And it's small things. It's things like how to word your emails, how to sell yourself, like how to close a sale right there on the call, like book it in. I'm not leaving today without like this wedding being booked. But it's also confidence. Like when your job is public speaking and engaging with people and reading a room and seeing who you can bounce off and who you can't bounce off and what the limit is and pushing boundaries, you need to have confidence. And you need to have confidence obviously on the day, but also in the back end of your business to secure these bookings.
And just to have a go-to mentor like you as well, I think is going to be priceless for people.
Yeah, because I'm like your girlfriend. Like I'll just tell you how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. And I'm really glad that this has come up because I've been thinking about it for you for a long time. And I know I've like planted 1 or 2 seeds because that's my vibe. I love to do that and see everyone around me grow. But I'm so happy to hear this is the direction that you're moving in.
Yeah, same. Bigger and better things. Mm-hmm. But also to like give the Gold Coast a little bit more spice into their ceremonies,
Yeah, and leaning into all of your strengths and everything that you've just worked so hard to build.
Yeah.
And then gifting that onwards.
Yeah, because it's not easy. It's not easy to be like, I've built this amazing business and now I'm going to put all my intellectual property out there. And I held on to that for so long because so many people over the years have told me, you need to do this, you need to put it out there. And I'm like, no, because that's me. That's my selling point. But now it's like, no, it's time to give it on a little bit.
Yeah, stepping into a whole new era of
Lauren. Who knows? We'll tap back into this podcast in 12 months' time.
Yeah, we'll see what's happening.
We'll see where we're both at.
World domination for the wedding industry. But over the next few months, you need to hit the reset button and fill your own cup. What are you doing to recharge in the meantime?
I do have a holiday booked. I'm just going on a holiday with my girlfriend and my babies, and we're going on a cruise. So that'll be good to fully disconnect. And I'm just not going to book anything. I'm just not going to book any couple meetings. I'm not going to really check my emails. I might go on some spontaneous little trips away. I want to clean my house. I want to cook. I want to buy furniture. I want to do all that girly stuff that you just do when you're at home with like, your music on and you fill that cup again. Like, what fills your cup? Is it just being at home and like reading a book or like lighting a candle and cooking some yummy food, right? That's what you want to do.
That's so sweet. And I think so needed for you because you've been living in, like, we talk about yin and yang, you've been living in this yang, like go, go, go energy for years now. And your mind and body kind of forced you to hit pause recently. So
for sure.
yeah, I'm proud of you for taking this time because you've got so much to give, but like we know, you can't fill from an empty cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or an empty champagne flute, whatever we want to talk about. Like,
Yeah.
Lauren, if people want to learn more about how to work with you, how to join your Celebrant school, is that what we're calling it?
I think it's going to be like an agency.
Oh,
yeah. I already, it's funny, I bought like all the business names 2 years ago.
She's ready.
This has come up.
She's ready. If people want to get in touch with you online, how can they find you?
Just follow me on Instagram. I think we all love a good stalk, right? So it's just at Lauren Bridge Celebrant. And if you're interested to connect, you can just send me a DM.
Perfect. And we'll put a link to that in the show notes as well. Yeah. Lauren, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me on the Reset podcast today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a good chat.